Hello everyone, welcome to How to Play Fortnite. My name is Paper Dad and I am here to give you the basics if you want to get good and to win matches at Fortnite. Now, rule number 1, you always want to land at tilted towers. With the amount of loot that is available for you at tilted towers, it just is the most obvious thing to do. You can get very good weapons, very rare weapons right away. And as long as you just have even the smallest amount of skill, you should be able to survive. It really shouldn't be anything too difficult. Watch here, I'm going to sneak up on someone, kill them. Oh. Right, hello everyone, this is Paper Dad, bringing you how to play Fortnite, quick tips and tricks. So let's start off with rule number 1: never land at tilted towers. No, it's not worth it. There's really nothing going on there. There's just so many players. It has nothing to do with skill. There's just so many players. It's really just luck based if you're going to get out alive. So always land in some vague place where there'll be very little enemies. As you can see, I landed here. Still 2 other enemies, but the key is to always fight them after they have fought. As you can see, I was easily able to take them down. Really, no problem. Now that we've taken down our first enemy, let's begin the looting process. Probably the most important rule about looting: always get ammo boxes. You know what? Even if it comes to picking a chest between an ammo box is always the way to go. I think people underestimate the need to always have ammo in their storage. You know, a loot box, look at this. It really gave us nothing here. Gave us a gray AR. Really wasn't worth it. But an ammo box will always be worth it. As you can see, I'm going to search here. Look, rockets, those will be very useful probably in the future. We don't know, but I'm not going to risk it. Definitely believe that it will be useful in the future. So, rule number 3. I think it's important that you always remember, even when playing a very competitive match of Fortnite, obviously you want to win, that doesn't mean you stop looking for random challenges and objectives that have absolutely nothing to do with the game that's going on with you at the moment. As you can see here, I am currently remembering that I haven't fulfilled a challenge in which I'm supposed to find a search an area between a bridge, a broken down bus, and 3 billboards. It's at this moment that I realize I'm near 3 billboards, and it's a perfect time for me to search. It never matters where in a game you are, you should always be looking to get done challenges. Really, it's most important. Now, as you can see, I am being attacked by someone right now. Rule number 4, I would say, only fight people if they're significantly worse than you. As you can see, that last gentleman I just fought really sucked. This really is a perfect fight to pick. This way I know that even if I can't hit my shots, my chances of winning are still very high. Now, as you can see here, I am healing up without any barriers around me. This brings me to rule number 5. Never put walls up while healing. Lots of people do this, a very common mistake. The reason they do this is they think it'll protect them, but really, now you can't see who's coming. You're going to get flanked while healing. It is absolutely critical that you always know what's going on around you, so never put walls up while trying to heal. As you can see, I've now collected my challenge, so now I'm okay to continue on with the game. Never get distracted with completing challenges. They're really good luck charms. I'm not saying I'm one to be superstitious, but if you really want to win, always find a challenge during a game. Now, as you can see, there is someone in front of me here. Terrible, terrible player. Just like that, knocked him out. This goes back to one of the earlier rules of only fighting people who are worse than you. Now, you might say, but Paper Dad, you didn't even fight him. How do you know he's worse than you? Well, if I don't need to fight him, even better. We're just going to assume he was worse than me, since I am now picking up the remains of his dead body. Back to talking about looting, I think it's always important for you to know that if you see anything shiny, you have to check it out. Doesn't matter the color, doesn't matter what it looks like off in the distance. If it is shining, you have to look. You never know. It might be that the developers have placed a rare gun that no one else has ever used, and they colored it gray. You never know, so you must go check it out. In this case, it turned out to be a potion, which wasn't too bad. Now, we find ourselves in a very interesting position here. We hear shots being fired and people getting hit, so we know that there are multiple people outside fighting each other. So, what would a pro gamer do? Well, the average gamer would probably instantly break out, build up a fort so they have an advantage. But the pro gamer will sit silently and patiently, waiting to see and hear and gather more information. As you can see, my plan has worked out perfectly. I've just been shot, meaning I now know where he is, and I know that he doesn't like me. This information is completely priceless, really, worth the shield that I lost. Now I have my best position to really just sit and wait. Some players might say that this is cowering, or taking the easy way out, or camping is often a common term. Let me tell you, these are not reasons to ever think that you are doing something wrong. This is the right way to play. It's the safest way to play, and the best way to guarantee that you will get wins. As you can hear all around us, we know that he is right on top of us. So we can now just wait patiently. Just make sure that you get... Once again, going back to rule number 4, only fight players who are worse than you. This is obviously one of those situations where there's nothing I could have done differently. It's really just freak luck that I got cornered with a player that is probably the best player in the world to be able to beat me. So always remember, seek out players who are worse than you. And we are back with some more Fortnite here. Just once again, more tips and tricks to become a better Fortnite player and to win. Always just remember that this game is a lot of luck based, and as you've seen so far, if you're just unlucky, there's nothing you can do. But once again, I'm here to show you how it is that we can win. Now, as you can see, I am currently speeding up the loot process. We've already gone over that. We all know how to properly loot. Aim for the ammo boxes. Make sure you always have enough ammo. Take whatever gun looks the coolest to you, and make sure to organize it at any random point. Alright, now as you can see, we are about to get into our first fight here. Let me remind you, always make sure you're only fighting someone who is worse than you. If you watch this guy, you can see that his skill level is next to 0. And then of course, with my skill level being at the top 100, there really was no chance for this guy. And just like that, we were able to take him down. Now, let's talk about traveling. As you can see, I have a destination in mind, in which I then look at the map and realize I'm a crap ton way away from the circle. So I quickly change my mind. This brings me to rule number 6, always be willing to change your destination. Things change, this is a very fast-paced game, things change all the time, we need to be ready to adapt. Second, with always being willing to change your destination, always know that if you're running in an open field, you have to jump. Does this really do anything for you? Not really, but if you ever watch anyone who's good, they jump, and we of course want to look good and be as good as those good. So good, always jump. Alright, well at this point I am just going to speed up the video. We have a lot of traveling to do, and so I'm just going to fast forward until we find our next sweet spot. Alright, coming up over this hill, you're going to notice that there's a rather large structure off in the distance. Whenever you see these structures, your first thought should really be, can I break that? Instantly I see that and I know that I should run towards it and see if its base is strong. If its base isn't strong and would be rather simple for my pickaxe to break down, I am definitely going to take advantage of that. Do I know that there's an enemy up there? Absolutely not. Does that matter? No. We just really like to the satisfaction of seeing buildings come down, and to really look like a pro, being able to take down such a large structure with only a few hits is always impressive. Now, me going to knock this thing down has really paid off, because walking this way, we now hear shots off in the distance. Any pro will tell you, always go towards shots. Shots means people with loot, and being the pro that we are, we should always be able to really beat anyone we're face up against, unless it's just one of those really unlucky situations where we can't do anything. Now, we see this enemy. We have a sniper. Should we pull that sniper out and shoot him? No. We should absolutely sneak up behind him, destroy his structure, get a little damage on him so that he is now stunned, really, and doesn't know what to do. Whenever firing, make sure you're crouched. Don't build walls. That just takes time away that you could be spending dealing damage to the enemy. As you see, I'm going to push with my shotgun, and even though I'm at a very ineffective range, frankly, I'd miss with any other weapon. So I'm going to continue to blindlessly fire my shotgun until, ta-da, we have defeated him. Once again, taking it back to that most important rule, only challenge people who you know you're absolutely better than. And in this case, absolutely no doubt knew I was significantly better than that gentleman. Alright, this brings me to rule number 7. Supply drops are worth everything. If you see a supply drop, you should never waste a second to go after it. It is worth losing the game if you can't get a supply drop, because really a game won without a supply drop is not a game won. As you can see, this fort, these new portable forts are extremely rare and are very hard to come by. They're very valuable since they can instantly build up a fort. It was absolutely worth it just to make sure that I get the items in the supply drop. Really, I wouldn't have used it any other way. This is probably the most effective way you can use the port a fort. I would once again just like to point out that the pointless jumping should never stop. You should always be hopping until you find an enemy. Alright, now because of my jumping, I have now been able to spot an enemy and I am ready to engage. Now, as he's running, I very well could quickly do a quick zoom in, headshot, done. He is dead. But I feel that that's not fair to him, so I'm going to wait until he has a little more time. It's really just to make the game more fun for the both of us. As you can see, I shoot a couple warning shots, purposefully missing, to then eventually hit him, just to really give him a chance to have a good time and to fight back. I am now done using my sniper, being that I've shot enough warning shots, and will transfer to my shotgun once again so that my inaccuracy really doesn't matter. Now, I have no idea where this guy has gone, but if you listen closely, you hear his shotgun pump. This has given his position away, once again proving that I am significantly better than that person. I will happily take his loot, as he really doesn't deserve it for being not as good as me. Alright, now we find ourselves in quite the predicament. We're now in a very open area with lots of structures and obviously lots of opponents. We've already seen one person killed by a sniper, so what does this tell me? This tells me that there may be a very, very, very slim chance that there's a player that is better than me in this field. Because of this, we need to play extra cautious. Really, we don't know that one player that might be better than me. We don't know when we'll run into him, so we really need to be careful and make sure we don't get sniped by him. Now, in the middle of this fight, you'll notice I'm running around with a shotgun building platforms. Now, these platforms really are taking me nowhere, and I eventually just fall off them to start over. I am doing this on purpose. I'm really doing it as a means to confuse the enemy I'm fighting at the moment. It's okay to take a little damage, especially falling damage, as long as your enemy really has no idea where you are. If you can do this, you are winning the fight. So I will continue to just build random structures wherever I go, not really having a purpose of where exactly I want to end up. The end goal here is that I will confuse him to the point, there you go, that someone else will kill him. Thankfully, that player probably was a little better than me, but because of my confusion tactic, I was able to defeat him. Now, here's another player that, by his aim, I can tell you he is not better than me. So I'm not afraid to take him front on to eventually, as you can see, destroy him. Wow, what a shot. I think I should save that for the records. Now, you might be wondering why I just built that wall to heal. We've already gone over how you should never build up walls while healing because it obstructs your views. I did it this one time because, as I said, we know that somewhere in this map there is a sniper that by a slim chance might be better than me. So it's very important that you know that these rules can be twisted and bended in those very special circumstances. For that reason alone, I did build this wall and even put this trap here really as an intimidation factor. No other good reason to put a trap down as to hopefully just scare an enemy by the sound of it. Now, I am going to go and try to push one of these snipers. Really, I know that it wouldn't be fair if I tried to fight them with my sniper skills, so instead I'm going to give them a chance by using my shotgun. As you can see here, I blindly jump off the building, once again, just to confuse my opponent. Worth the damage that I took in the fall, and now with him thoroughly confused, I am going to hide it in this little barn just to confuse him more. I cannot overstate how important it is to always confuse your opponents. You really don't want them to know what the heck is going on. As long as they never know what's truly going on, you will always have the upper hand. Now, going back to what I was discussing earlier, camping is totally fine. Absolutely fine, especially when you know there's a sniper that might be better than you. I'm going to emote here just so the person on top of me knows I'm there, just to confuse him further. This is very important that you always emote in really what some may say are inappropriate situations, this will help you to always have the element of surprise. But more importantly than ever, never come out of your hiding spot. This will just be too obvious to the player. He will no longer be confused, and you will no longer have the upper hand. Now, as you can see, this method is absolutely working. Oh, come on! Dang it! Don't know what to do. Never works.